eventually my husband said, Jaimie, you get rid of one more thing, I'm not going to have a place to sit. And I'll tell you, I let go of my wedding dress. I sold my engagement ring. That was a huge one.
Extreme.
Extreme. Yeah. People thought I was divorcing my husband. I wasn't. I love him very much, but it was like, oh, maybe we can put this money towards something in our future. But so it was like, okay, I have to stop decluttering. But I was like on a high. How do I I don't want to lose this. And so I like all of a sudden had this thought, like maybe I could declutter our trash.
Welcome to the Salon Owners Holistic Blueprint, your podcast for unlocking the secrets to a thriving salon business through holistic practices. I'm Jacqueline Rodriguez, your host, and join me each week as we explore wellness, sustainability, and business success. Everything from attracting conscious clients to adopting eco-friendly practices. We're going to cover it all to elevate your salon business. Welcome back to the Salon Owners Holistic Blueprint podcast. I'm your hostess, Jacqueline Rodriguez, and I am so excited. Like every episode, I feel like I say that every time because I just have amazing guests on. But today I have Jaimie Derheim. I hope I said that right. And Jaimie Derheim is the founder of the Refillery Collective. And the Refillery Collective is an online platform that provides resources, tools, support, and valuable connections to help refill store owners build a profitable business and make a bigger impact in their community. So we are going to be diving into how, why, all of the ins and outs of adding a refill station to your salon. And this is something that I have been so fascinated with and so excited about because I have started down that journey in my own salon, and I've seen such great response from the clients, impact in the salon. It feels good because I'm able to make a difference, without throwing away all the packaging, and there's so many different things, but I'm still on the beginning pieces of my journey. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm super excited. And please tell the audience a little bit about, who you are and why you got into this, so that they can get to know you a little bit better.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm super excited. And please tell the audience a little bit about, who you are and why you got into this, so that they can get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess a little bit about my background is I was kind of like your standard, I like to say like stay-at-home mom shopping at Target every week with my Frappuccino in hand and filling up my shopping cart with things I didn't need, with my husband's head about to explode because I was racking up the credit card. And then I'd want to purge things. So then I would like a month later start donating to Goodwill. And so he saw money coming in and basically going out. And I kind of hit this point where I was just like, I can't keep up around my house. I need life to be simpler. And I wanted my husband around more, and he was like, financially, we can't change our lifestyle, as far as his work schedule goes. So I don't know, I started looking for different ways to like save money, make money, and I decided to just start selling everything on Craigslist because that's what it was mostly at that time. And then donating, getting rid of what I could, or whatever I couldn't sell, and then not buying. Like really like got away from going to Target as often and seeing our credit card spending drop. And I was like, because if I can prove that we can live on less money, then we can change, our situation. And so I did that and I decluttered 90% of our house. We I went full on. I learned about becoming minimalist. And we went hardcore. Floor sleeping. We went down to one TV, we sold the other ones. We got rid of like our second set of living room furniture. Everything. And so, I mean, toys, everything. And eventually my husband said, Jaimie, you get rid of one more thing, I'm not going to have a place to sit. And, um, and I'll tell you, I let go of my wedding dress. I sold my engagement ring. That was a huge one.
Extreme.
Extreme. Yeah. People thought I was divorcing my husband. I wasn't. um, I love him very much, but it was like, oh, maybe we can put this money towards something in our future. But so it was like, okay, I have to stop decluttering. But I was like on a high. How do I I don't want to lose this. And so I like all of a sudden had this thought, like maybe I could declutter our trash and our recycling and we could have less of that. So how could we have less of that? And then that's when I got introduced into the zero waste living. I found Bea Johnson, Zero Waste Home. A lot of it was DIY at the time. It was make your own laundry detergent, make your own, shampoo somehow. And I was searching and it was hard. And I'm not a DIY person. I didn't have that time or energy. And then it wasn't until we lived in Wisconsin at the time, we moved down to Florida, and I was looking for like a grocery store that had bulk food options. And in my search, I found a refill store that was all body, personal care, cleaning supplies. And my mind exploded. And I was like, this is what I've always I didn't know this existed. And I was like, is this unique? Is this only here? Does this, exist anywhere else? And so I started Google searching, started finding these other refill stores. And at the time I had decided to start a blog about like eco-friendly finds of different products. So I was like, oh, I'm going to start sharing these refill stores. That turned into a directory that now people can search and find their local refill stores and across the US and Canada. And then that kind of turned into me building relationships with the refill store owners and into what the Refillery Collective is today, which is like a big support network.
I love that. Okay. A few questions came up. One, what is floor sleeping? Like, I didn't know that was a thing. Like, did you take away the mattresses?
Yes.
Okay.
So I was like, I can sell the mattresses, I can sell the frames. So literally, we had carpeting in our house and we had sleeping bags. And it was, and for our girls too. And it was a really hard transition because depending on how you sleep, it's really meant you need to really sleep on your back. And that's really good for your back. And if you have back issues, sometimes doctors will say, sleep on the floor because it straightens out your back.
Oh.
So, but if you try to sleep on your side, you realize your shoulder, your hip, especially as women, your hip bone digs and it gets sore.
Oh,
and
yeah.
and I'd still use a pillow, like a flatter pillow I liked. But then it probably took a full 2 weeks or so, 2 weeks to a month before we really transitioned and we our bodies adapted. We kind of adapted how we slept. The girls transitioned really easy. We just said it was like a slumber party every night. Um, and they shared a room, the three of them. So we did that. Eventually, I did find what are Japanese rollout mats. Um,
Okay. Yeah, I've seen
and
those. Mhm.
yeah, they're like,
Mhm.
2-3 inches, like a futon.
Mhm.
And so we did get one of those. And that did make a huge difference.
Yeah. I don't think one that I could do that. I'm a side sleeper. I go back and forth between back and side. But I thought that's what you were talking about, and I'm like, whoa, that's pretty extreme to get
I,
rid of the mattresses and everything.
yeah, I am a side and stomach sleeper. Like the
Ouch.
worst you can be for
Yeah.
anything for your back. Um, but yeah, I figured it out that um the Japanese mat helped a lot. And my husband used to have back pain and actually it corrected his back
Oh,
pain. So
so there's something to floor sleeping if you
yeah,
have problems.
I
I am.
will,
Oh, go
yeah.
ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say we did eventually sell our house and downsized, and people didn't think we actually lived in the house because we didn't have furniture. So yeah, that was like we're like people would go show the house and we're like, it's like 8 o'clock at night. We have kids to get to bed. But um
So I'm going to switch gears back to the salon. I just thought that
yes.
was really interesting, and I wanted to make sure that in my head I was correct of what you were talking about.
Yep, you got
Um,
it.
I love the refilleries, and like I feel the same way when I found a refillery near me. Is my mind was just blown because I I just think it's such an amazing idea and opportunity to be able to have products and also make sure that we are not contributing to the waste, and they typically are very like clean products as well. So it really just marries beautifully with my values for the salon and what I teach in the Holistic Salon Academy. So with that said, like, tell us a little bit more about why salon owners should even start thinking about adding some sort of refillery to their current salon.
Yeah. I mean, I think it can be a natural pairing because you're already helping to take care of people and connecting with your community. And your customers are looking to you for their hair care, like for advice. I know every time I would go get my hair cut, get it styled, I'd be like, what products did you use? Okay, well, I like how you did my hair, so I'll buy that product, right? Um, and so another thing that I think about with salons is depending on the person, how often that person goes to a salon varies. Like I'm a once a year type of person. Guys, obviously my husband's like every 3 months. Um, some people might go every, 3 to 6 months, it depends. Um, but for someone like myself, I would keep my relationship with that salon each month because I'm going and refilling my hair care products. And then I would be like, oh, yeah, while I'm here, why don't I just schedule my next appointment? Or while I'm here, I'm going to refill. And so you get to keep that connection and keep building some revenue with those additional sales that um, you're making because people are wanting to come back and refill their favorite product.
And I want to chime in here because as a salon owner, like we do refer a lot of I mean, we talk about products, right? We sell a lot of products, and people do come back into, like, they'll buy from us, but the difference here is, one, you can't do a refill online.
Mhm.
A lot of salon owners and stylists are worried about people going home and it's just easier for them to order and get it shipped to them. You can't do that. And a lot of the products that I've seen aren't you're not ordering over and over again. You are able to it's like a little bit of a more of a niched idea. So then we're getting away from all of the worry about Amazon and everything online taking away our business.
Mhm.
So as a salon owner, that's another plus because it does keep that relationship and those clients coming back to you. You can feel good about them coming back and, spending more time in the salon. That's always what we want. We want people to spend time in the salon, buy products, book appointments. And when they're there, if you have other options, or new services, like that's a lot of the time where we'll talk about these other services that we offer that are not just your typical cuts and colors and things like that. So it's bringing them back in and keeping that relationship, which I think is crucial. Plus the benefit of you're also getting rid of a lot of waste. So it's very um, beneficial for both the planet and for salon owners. With that being said, like, what are the costs to getting started? Like, is it a super high cost that we've got to worry about? Like, if somebody's just now getting started.
Mhm. Well, I mean, I think it it definitely varies depending on what you want to do, but you can start really simple. I mean, you probably already have some shelving with products, right? So it would be like taking an eco-friendly shampoo and conditioner that you like and that you want to use, having getting that wholesale and having maybe that gallon container on the shelf and then putting the price per ounce and then doing and even then like you could start with having a scale so people could bring in their own containers, or you could just start with here are some containers like to start. We already know it's 16 ounces, or we already know it's, whatever. Um, and have maybe some pre-fills there. Um, but then you are just, and then have a sign of like how it works. And nicely, a lot of salons are kind of have a smaller, intimate feeling. So when someone walks in, you'll be able to, introduce them to that. If they're looking around at the products, be like, oh, hey, this is new. This is how it works.
This episode is brought to you by the Holistic Salon Academy. At the Academy, you gain access to knowledge, tools, and a thriving community you need to excel in the clean, green, and sustainable beauty business. By joining the Holistic Salon Academy, you become a pioneer in a new era of beauty and wellness.
You want to try it, you can buy just, 5 ounces or stuff. I think it can be a really, really simple and easy setup. And you can start with 2 products or 3 products. A salon is already buying a larger quantity, when they're doing washing hair and stuff. So, but that price base is still going to be similar. And then you're just, usually they have the MSRP of like what you're going to sell it for. So the difference is they get to choose how much they want to fill. One thing that and I would just say signage is important of like, hey, new refill station, and have the steps, ask for help, we can do it, for you. Maybe even have like you have the price per ounce, but also maybe you do have like, oh, 16 ounces would equal. So people know that and they can compare if they want. Another really good way to introduce and get people started on it is when they come in for a service, give them 10% off a, refill purchase, whether they buy 2 or 3 products, but it's an incentive. It's something that at checkout, they can say, oh, hey, did you want to take advantage of the 10% off in-store purchase of refills? You can also have, you could have some pre-fills, which would still count. You could have some, empty bottles that they could purchase, or you could have, some donated or free containers. I would keep that one really simple. And I would keep that beautiful because the salon has that beauty quality to it, and you want to keep that really nice aesthetic. So you want to keep it feeling a little bit more high end.
So a few questions with that specifically. With the refill bottles, I mean, obviously, unless it's like food products, like how are you sterilizing and keeping these things above board to make sure that nothing's getting contaminated and things like that? Because that I've noticed is like a whole new layer to adding on to what we have to do as salon owners, making sure that that gets taken care of. So how would we approach that in an easy manner?
Yeah. Okay. So for instance, you order a bottle from, I'll use an example of Plain Products. They're a company that I know. You order a gallon from them. You can put that on the shelf, right? Once it's empty, you ship that back to them free of cost, and they sanitize it and put it back into their circulation. A lot of times what they'll do is they'll have you keep the pump. A lot of places will have you keep the pump, and just send a refill with a cap. And then you can put that pump back in there. So you could wash the pump if you wanted to. But as far as like sanitation, if they're using a new bottle, doesn't matter if you are accepting donated containers. If what a lot of refill stores do is they use a dishwasher and put it on sanitize. I personally like it if labels are off and cleaned. So that's like taking a label off, and then I do a half and half mixture of baking soda and coconut oil, and I rub it on the sticky areas and I let that sit for a while and then scrub with hot water, and that usually takes care of it. If there's a little bit of sticky residue left, I'll rub a little bit of just baking soda on it so it kind of dries it up, and it'll usually rub off after that. And then I would sanitize it in the dishwasher. So that's what most do. So if you're gonna do accepted jars, I would just be very specific on what kind of jars you would accept.
Got you. So then if a client's bringing in a bottle that they got from you last time and they're bringing it back, they're refilling the same bottle, they don't necessarily have to sanitize, like they're bringing it in and refilling it. Do we require them to have it sanitized, or how does that process work?
I mean, no, they don't have to. I mean, ideally, they probably should every once in a while, really clean it out. But also the nice thing is, say they're running low and they're like, oh gosh, like I know I'm gonna run out soon. I'm actually running into town. I'll be right by the salon. They can bring that container that's not completely empty, weigh it at its current weight, right? And then fill it and take the filled weight and subtract it. So you're tearing out the weight of the container and what was already in there. So they're only paying for what they filled. And if it's a pump bottle, you're still taking from the bottom anyway when you're using it up. So that's another thing. People do that all the time in refill stores.
Perfect. So there's options. Like if you don't want to take donated bottles, then you don't have to worry about that. Or even as a lot, like you can tell them, I'll take donated bottles, but they have to have the label off already. And then I'll throw them through the dishwasher to make sure. But there's levels to it depending on how much work you want to put into it.
Yeah, and I would say you don't even have to, like, if you think you might want to do that, don't start with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know, you can, pick like the shampoo and conditioner or the hairspray and hair cream or whatever you want to do. Like have a little scale, with it being beauty products, it's you don't need anything fancy. You can use something really simple. And then maybe just having like a little sheet of paper or something where people can write down it's probably easiest to have them weigh their container, write that weight down, fill it, write that weight down, and then you have a calculator and subtract it out. And then do the pricing of per ounce, because depending on your checkout system, your point of sale system, I'm guessing it would be, I don't know what everyone uses in the salon industry. So it might have to be like a manual entry, or you might be able to do something where it's price per ounce and then you can put how much quantity in there. But maybe even to start, because refilling is really intimidating to people. That's a big change from just grabbing and going. And so you can do that work for them. There is an eco salon near me that offers refills, but they don't have it up front. And that can work too, but I do think that there's something powerful to the visual of saying, here, see, we have this. Otherwise, it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind.
Okay, so on that point, that's what we have done. So we have our whole back bar, right? Because twofold. One of the problems that I found with refilleries specifically is we have professional products. The refilleries don't. And a lot of I'm a huge advocate of plain products. They're on the Lindsay's on the podcast all the time, and I love her and her products. And for a lot of salon owners, it's not going to work all the time because we have to have specific products for professional grade, right? And unfortunately, there's not a ton of professional products that have gone the route of offering refills. So with that being said, depending on for any salon owner listening, whatever brand you have currently, right? I'm always going to advocate, let's get as clean, non-toxic as possible, as natural as possible, and still keep our products quality, right? So there is that possibility, and that's what I teach in the Holistic Salon Academy is, how to navigate and find that. Now, with all of ours, we do have our back bar. I personally, the brand that I use in the salon, we don't have gallons. We have 32 ounces.
Okay.
I use those. Now they are all in my back bar and we fill them ourselves and we tell the clients. So while we don't have the visual of it, I do think that there's something powerful about the visual. And I would like to figure out how to incorporate that so that I can have that visual. But in our communication with each one of our clients, um, in the consultation, and because we do a year journey, like with our new clients, we have communication going out throughout the year about our services like this. So we're always having some sort of touch point with them and talking about our refill program. So
Nice.
it is something, if it's not in sight, you have to talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
and it still would be powerful. So even if the salon owner right now wants to just start that process and taking the bottles that they're selling and then just offering a refill when they come back, that has been the easiest way for me to get started. And then I see a higher profit because I'm going from the back bar pricing
Mm-hmm.
instead of just selling brand new.
Right. Yeah. And one thing you could do is, put up a sign, like a bigger sign, theoretically, not just like a little one on at the checkout counter, but on the wall, and saying like, did you know we refill? Um, Ask us about our refill program or something like that. Just so like when people are kind of looking around and, maybe they're being like, um, rung up or whatever, and they're about to pay and they see it and they're like, oh, what is that? So just like something to kind of get their mind. You also could have, you could have like a product, like one of your 32 ounce and then a smaller or so, and say like, hey, we refill, just kind of as like a little like visual. You could have that maybe on your shelf, like by the other things people can purchase, of like almost like a display unit
Yeah.
with a little sign. So those are two options just to kind of help when people are sitting there waiting for their appointment or
Yeah.
um
And I think a lot of that comes back to anytime we are marketing our retail, we've got to think through those things. So making sure that you have the signage, depending on your salon. Like, so my salon is more boutique. We have 3 chairs, but we don't have tons of like shelving of retail. So we
mhm.
do have those checkpoints of like picture. We have not pictures, but little signs near the retail that we have. And I like that idea of like a bigger one, especially right there in that front room to talk
Mhm.
about that. So, you can make it as easy or as hard as you want. And
Yeah.
yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
and try something, and if it doesn't seem to be working, adjust it and see what is going to work with engaging with your clientele.
So my next question is like, where do you see this going, and how can salons really, I mean, we heard how we can benefit, right? But how can we start really making a change? Because one of the things that I'm actively doing is teaching, because I think that's really important to teach other salon owners like what the options are, right? Because there's so many things out there. But how is this going to change the beauty industry for salon owners?
I mean, I think that it can create a trying to think through how to say this, but like I think the salon can become a central point in building the community and in helping the community um, embrace eco-friendly changes that people love. And, as a community focused salon, I love that you mentioned like you have newsletters or what that go out, so you're in communication, and that's the important part, is just continually being in front of your community and engaging with them and building that relationship. And not only are you helping them with their hair and the health of it and feeling beautiful, you're also helping them live a beautiful life in their community. And I think that goes a long way in building long-lasting relationships with clientele, where they want to come and support you, and because they feel supported by you.
I love that you said that, because we actually have tons of clients who have found us, because I really try to do a good job of marketing what we're doing as well. So having that be the forefront of, our salon mission really is eco-friendly, and that being clean, green, and sustainable practices in the salon with your beauty. So everybody uses this whole beauty, from within or whatever that is, but the truth is, like, we focus on a different level of beauty. And with that, our salon has people driving to us specifically because we use lower toxin and clean products, and that we are sustainable. And we've seen a huge increase in clients looking for that and finding us, because we're one of the only ones within a like 20-mile, and no, I think it's like a 30 or 40-mile radius. We're one of the only ones. So that being said, like, this is exactly what clients are looking for. They're starting to demand it. And this is what I preach all the time. Clients are demanding it, and they will find and drive to a different salon who is doing that because it aligns with their values. And we have seen such an increase of clients, their values are becoming like sustainability, cleaner products, because it all starts with the food industry. And the food industry, I mean, clean eating it has skyrocketed, and it's only continuing to go up. So everything's going to follow along with that. And we are the next industry to be seeing this type of demand on us. And this is a great way to start, setting your salon apart from others and standing for a greater mission. So I'm really excited about what you're doing, and all of the opportunities you have that's open. So tell us about where we can find you, and how people can get in touch if they have more questions, if they're excited about starting this journey.
Thank you for joining today's episode. I really hope you enjoyed the training, and if you have any questions about anything I talked about in today's training, or honestly anything I've talked about on this podcast, I want you to go to www.cleanbeautybiz.com/advisor, or you can click the link in the show notes where you can ask me any questions you have about this episode or anything else that I have covered on this podcast. Again, that link is www.cleanbeautybiz.com, and this amazing little tool allows you to get your specific questions answered by me 24/7.
So my website is refillerycollective.com. You can also find me on Instagram. The handle is Refillery Collective, all one word. And you can DM me from there. That's probably the easiest. I have yet to change my email, so it's my name, and I just will spare people from trying to spell my name right now. So DM me on Instagram, or I do have a contact me page on the website. And we do have a lot of free resources. If you check out Instagram, I just shared in like late November, December, like 25 tips to help your refill business be profitable. So people can check those out. we do 3 like online meetups that are a part of our free membership every month, where we just get together and we talk and we help each other navigate things. And there's always really good support, really good ideas. Um, and then we do have our premium membership, where I have recorded webinars, and some more resources there. And we do have mentors. So if you wanted to have some one-on-one chat with someone on how to, navigate maybe for your community or your business, and you're thinking, okay, yeah, this sounds nice, but what about me? Because sometimes, talking with one of them can be really great. I can also DM people all that information. I'm always happy to chat with anyone and help how I can. Um, and I would say, as far as connecting with your community, kind of based on something that you had mentioned, um, like think about, the grocery stores that are near you that offer bulk. Think about the kind of like the hippie coffee shops, or anything where you think like there might be eco clientele. Try and cross market with them. Um, because that might really help. And if there is a refill store near you, um, consider maybe partnering with them. Maybe you have, even if it's just a sign like, hey, we offer, refills of our products here. Did you know that you could get more refill products at the store? And then they can promote you as well. So that might be a way to help promote refill, um, without doing the refill, if you have one really near you, um, as a step into it.
Yeah, I love that. There's so many different options so that you can get all of Jaimie's links, her DM. I'm going to go find that reel you said that you posted, and we'll link that too, so that we'll make it easy, right?
Yeah.
Have them come on there. And just thank you for everything that you're doing and sharing. And I'd love to have you back on sometime and like go deeper in this conversation.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for having me. This is such a fun conversation. And creating a refill station bar is something that we are working on, creating like a really solid plan, and hoping to bring that kind of kit in a way to into our membership, so people can use that and make it easier to begin. So definitely want to be on the lookout for that.
Amazing. And also, you can always DM me. I'm happy to share like the things that I've done to get started. And that is a part of what I teach in the academy. I give my whole blueprint of how I started in the academy so that we can, just start making more of these. We get to have tons of holistic salons.
Yes. And definitely I will say, when we moved to Florida and I was looking for a salon, I was like searching, and one popped up, and it was um it said eco salon, and I was like, oh, done. Found my place. So definitely, like, either in the description, if it's not in your name, in the description or something, put, eco salon or something, to let people know that that's one of your values, and people will attach to it right away.
Yeah, I teach in the academy too, like how to promote that message, because it's getting it out there on your social media, on the SEO, in articles, in PR. Like we've had media around us because of the specific services that we offer that are clean, green, and sustainable. So that has been a huge part of being able to grow it organically,
Mm.
because I make sure that it is in all of my messaging and my socials everywhere. So I love that you said that. And I mean, people are asking for this. So let's make sure that they have a safe, clean environment to be able to go to. So we're going to wrap up because I could just keep talking and talking like
Me too.
and it's amazing. And I do get to go actually teach the academy next. So thank you again. Anyone who wants to connect, make sure that you message one of us. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you for tuning in to the Salon Owners Holistic Blueprint. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow and subscribe. Until next time, stay inspired, stay passionate, and keep thriving in the world of holistic beauty.